since that day, we were able to launch a show and generate more than $250,000 sales with the show alone. Okay, we're gonna sell stickers for $10 a pop, and we're gonna be millionaires. And we're like, sweet, let's do it.
We believed it. He's like, margins are amazing, and we're like, yes. What are margins?
We're just more than half of that loan went to this mastermind, but it put us in a position where we actually had to execute yes or yes.
You know what they say, you gotta risk it to get the biscuit.
We definitely risked it to get the biscuit.
I feel like we gain more than just a biscuit. Though.
Yeah. That's true.
Yo, what is up?
What's up, Fonz?
We had a pretty good episode right now.
I know. I'm very excited to talk about this.
I know. It was actually meant to be like a one-part episode, but now
a 20-minute one-part episode.
But now it's gonna be a series of episodes.
I know.
That is gonna go through. Well, this part today, we actually talked about a little bit of our story or background and those epiphanies that we had, some of the lessons that we had throughout our journey that allowed us to build the business that we have today.
Yeah. We share about door-to-door sticker selling. We also share why we hate screen printing t-shirts.
Yeah.
90-degree Florida garages. What else?
Some lessons that helped us come here to the United States on soccer scholarships that now we're actually applying in our business.
Yeah. I think that the hook, what I really, really enjoy is how we were able to generate more than $250,000 just off the show. We didn't really share that, but it leads to that.
Yeah, you're just giving the hook for part 2.
Yes.
Yeah. But,
so good. Go listen part 1 and then go listen to part 2. So good. Enjoy the episode, guys.
See ya.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And this is Luis.
And welcome to the Content is Profit Show.
In here, you're going to get the insights, accountability, and drive to create consistently and increase your revenue.
You'll hear from top entrepreneurs, creators, and anything and everything you need to know about content. All this while having a great time.
The goal of this podcast is simple: entertain, educate, and turn your content into profit. Let's go.
You threw a wrench right there in the first sentence.
What was it? What was the wrench? You said show. It doesn't say show in there. You threw the wrench.
If I read it correctly, it's like, and welcome to the Content is Profit. To the Content is Profit what? FONZI. It's okay, guys. New intro. It happens. Let us know. Do you like it? You don't like it? I like it.
I wanted to see if you were on your toes, ready to react.
I like it. Yeah, but let us know. Is this a little bit better? No, maybe.
I'm gonna fix it because we usually don't say show. That threw me off actually. It's podcast. The Content Profit podcast.
Yes, let this be a lesson, guys, for consistency. Go, experiment, do new things. What's happening? Ask for feedback.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like this new intro.
Sounds good.
I think it's smooth. Hey. Not because I wrote it, but because it is actually pretty smooth.
Sounds good. Congrats, FONZI. Hey, what are we talking about today?
Guys, today we're talking about turning your content into a profit machine. Pretty much, we're gonna share with you a little bit about our journey, our journey, how we got here, and some of the frameworks that we discovered and developed throughout our entire entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
And the Content is Profit journey, and I'm saying journey a lot in these past few sentences, but we're gonna spill some beans, and hopefully help you build your own profitable platform.
That's right. I love that you said platform. And with that, guys, if you're enjoying these episodes, please go ahead and follow this show on your favorite platform. We're on Apple, we're Spotify, we're Google Podcasts. We're literally everywhere. What are you laughing about?
I'm like, we're going to have to, we need a clip, a video of us saying, me saying journey and you saying platform and just like, like the count.
Journey platform. Anyways, your love and support means a lot to us. Yep. And, let us know. What do you want to hear about? What are the things that, what you want to learn? Obviously, we're sharing a lot of the journey, a lot of the lessons that we share, a lot of the interviews, but also we want to hear your feedback. So don't be shy. Go to our social media at BIZBROS and let us know what's interesting. Like, what do you need help with in your content journey on how to turn it into profit?
Absolutely. And if this episode helps you, or do you know of anybody that might help them move one step closer towards their goal, please don't forget to share this episode and leave a 5-star review. Now, first of all, why we're doing this episode today? Today we're doing this episode because it's been, actually this is episode 272, but published is like episode 300.
Is it 300?
It's like about 300. It's around there, so.
I think it's like 302. Probably, but congrats.
Irrelevant.
I remember when we published episode 50 and we made such a big deal out of it. I don't know why we don't celebrate those milestones anymore.
Congrats. Super handshake. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
All right, that's it.
Awesome. So back to the main question. Why are we doing this episode? Well, we want to reintroduce ourselves, especially since about a month ago, we had a pretty big announcement. We are now part of the HubSpot Podcast Network.
Huge shout out for the amazing creator program that they're putting together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And with that, a new wave of, listeners came in. And I feel like we haven't properly introduced ourselves. Who are we? What do we do? How is this podcast set up to help you turn your content into profit? And that is what we're going to tackle today.
Sounds good. So I'm going to do the quick version of like the story, the backstory about who are the BIZBROS. I know we were just doing some shirts for an event. I'm like, since 1989 and 1993. But no, BIZBROS was actually born in 2015, according to historian FONZI over here.
Yes, the records clearly stipulated.
2015, yeah. And we came from Venezuela, and I came personally in 2010 with a soccer scholarship to play here in D1. FONZI came a year after to also play in what was it?
D2. When you said D1, I was like, dang, he's going to throw me under the bus there. He's like, yeah, I'm better.
Definitely throw it under the bus. No, it was definitely not better, but we did emailed about 300 schools, and we got really lucky. Like I got two answers, FONZI got two answers, and then
so lesson number 1, do the outreach.
Yeah, outbound. I know, outbound rocks. And part of the college experience, after soccer, we were a little bit lost and we didn't really know what to do. I personally didn't want to go the corporate route. I had a lot of friends going into that. Where I graduated, a lot of the industry was logistics and banking, and I was not really interested. I really wanted to stay in the city, and we decided to start a venture. Honestly, it was more like, how can we make money? Let's try to figure something out. We did some like private coaching, soccer coaching, one-on-ones, some group coaching. Drove Uber.
Yeah, Uber. Just whatever you can get your hands in. And then all of a sudden, actually, we had a roommate that was pretty entrepreneurial too at the moment. And he decided to sell stickers. He came one day and he was like, hey guys, let's sell some stickers. And we decided to join him in the journey, right? Journey again. Yeah. That's the word.
Well, he didn't just say that. He came in and he walked with this vinyl cutter machine with rolls of vinyl, the highest quality vinyl that there is. And he's like, hey, we're going to sell stickers for $10 a pop and we're going to be millionaires. And we're like, sweet, let's do it.
We believed it. He's like, margins are amazing. And we're like, yes. What are margins?
We just didn't realize how many stickers we had to sell, and then how many stickers we actually had to cut by hand. So
lesson number 2, a high ticket product can actually help you reach your goals of a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business faster than low ticket products.
Yeah. So we start, kind of selling these stickers door to door. We go to surf shops. We, phone calls and brands here locally, and we do that, and we have this like 20 sticker orders and 10 sticker orders and 5 sticker
20
orders.
sticker orders to make like $50.
Yeah. And so we go to this conference in Orlando, or it's more of a trade show really, called the Surf Expo, and we see this massive screen printing machine. Keep in mind, this is like 3 weeks after we bought the other machine, and we fall in love, and we're like, man, it's like $5,000. We don't have the $5,000.
I feel like it was like a few months after we started doing the stickers.
It was very short after.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to check the records on that.
We're gonna, you know why I think it's so short? Because we built the site, we completed the site as we were doing the line to go into the trade show. I remember that, the 6 Foot Southern.
Yeah, but I feel like we didn't grab traction with the stickers that fast, because we did events. We did like
never
the OTF events. We did like a few things. Mostly for us. We're like, ooh, this looks cool. Let's make our own stickers. Let's make our car stickers.
Yeah, we're going to have to check back on the dates. But in my mind, it was like a month in. But anyway, so we go into this
We'll go
show.
Back to the historian and check the records.
We go into this event and we see this machine. It's like $5,000. We don't have the $5,000. And we're like, oh, it would be nice to do screen printing, but
was it
clearly
$5,000?
It was like 5 or 6. I remember because
I thought it was like $10,000.
No. There was another $10,000. It was a bigger machine. That was the
automatic one. We should have got that one.
Direct to garment.
we would probably still be in business with shirts.
I know. So lesson number 3, make the investment, right? If you think it's worth it, it is gonna be worth it, right? With anyway. So our roommate decides to apply for some credit cards, buys a machine. The machine is delivered into our Florida garage, and we start doing the screen printing for other companies, events, local businesses. We do runs. We do fitness studios.
I'm gonna make the long story short. We hated the process. It was horrible. It's horrible to screen print shirts in a Florida garage.
Massive respect for the people that actually do it and love it.
Yeah.
But we weren't those people.
Props to them. If you're going to have this machine with the oven in a Florida garage in summer with no AC, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Was that pretty intense? And then
you're going to dehydrate yourself to death.
If you want to hear the full story, let us know. We'll do a full episode on this.
But anyway, that is lesson number 4.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy the process, guess what? It's okay to move on and do something else.
That's right. So that's what we decided to do. And in that process of trying to sell like these shirts, we wanted to do e-com and build this brand called 6 Southern, right? So we're trying to learn how to advertise.
Yeah, we wanted to be internet bro marketers.
Yes. Okay. So in the process of that, right, we're trying to learn how to market in social media, how to do this for that brand, right? And we actually have these t-shirts and these pictures that prove it.
Here, if you are just listening to a podcast, you're gonna have to come and watch the video. But the shirt that I'm actually wearing right now was the very last t-shirt that we screen printed on that machine.
That's right.
Pretty epic. I mean, it's lasted a few years now.
It's still solid.
Like 6 years.
No.
Great quality.
Well, you also don't gain weight because I lost all of mine. So anyway, so we decide to do that. And as we're doing this, we tell our roommate, we're like, look, we're not going to be in business anymore. Like, we don't want to do this, right? That created a little bit of a friction in the relationship, which on my way, I think is fixed on my end. I don't know, FONZI, but
it's fixed on my end.
We love you, Steven. And we decided to go to the social media route, right? So at the time, we do have jobs. I started working in a fitness studio. We used those relationships and the leverage to start getting into social media. We decided to go after restaurants.
I want to paint this picture in here because maybe some of you have run across some courses online, selling you opportunities. That is exactly what we did, right? We ran across an opportunity of learning how to build your own social media marketing agency. We didn't know anything, honestly. We thought we knew because we were just millennials and we're millennials. We know about social media. Guess what? We didn't know that much, but we decided to invest money that we didn't really have at the moment. It was your money that you didn't have at the moment.
Yeah, that was my credit card.
And we invested into this course. It was like $1,000, honestly. It wasn't like... At that time, it was like, whoa, $1,000.
That was my limit. Yeah, my credit card.
Right now is obviously it's not that much. We've evolved throughout the journey.
Yes.
Right. And the point is, you're gonna run across these opportunities, and guess what? There are lessons to be made in there. We don't have a social media marketing agency, but some of the lessons and principles that we learned from that course literally, allowed us to grow to the point that we're at today.
So obviously, there's few episodes in the back that you can go and catch this story, but long story short, we start selling to restaurants. We find out that they're not the ideal client. We're charging too little for the things that we're doing. There's a lot of friction, right? And then we start going after different businesses. We're kind of lost. We have multiple types of services, right? We do.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. The first sale story for the restaurant is pretty epic. So if you want to listen to it, just send us a message on Instagram and we'll tell you the story.
There's a lot of stories here that we can unpack individually and with lessons. So
with a lot of lessons.
Make a note of that. Note. You made a note. Good job, man. Well done. Good. Follow instructions.
Keep going.
I'm rewarding you. That was so good.
I'm not a puppy. He's like here's a treat. Go ahead.
So this evolves, right? We end up with like 5-7 different processes where like we've done email campaigns, right? We did giveaways, we did the social media marketing campaigns, we did organic marketing, we did some paid traffic, and then we were going after small businesses, right? Fitness studios, the restaurants that we mentioned, dentists, all the dietitians, right? And we launched a course and we made like 40 grand out of that course, which was amazing, right? Like all these things that like we were hitting, but then to repeat it again, it was a very heavy lift because
we got our hands dirty. That's what we did.
That's right. And we learned a ton and it was amazing. And we thank every single business that we worked with at the time because they gave us the opportunity, right? They had that. They didn't have to do that.
I think they were extra nice to us. I feel some of them gave us business out of
niceness.
Yeah. I don't know. Out of pity, maybe. They're like, dang, look at these 2 Hispanic guys come in here hustling. Let's give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, for everybody paid off. Like we deliver some sort of result to everybody.
Yeah.
We build systems for them. For some of them, we actually build a course that generated over $40,000.
Yeah.
So it's been good, right? And it's actually I checked their page. Is our course and or sales letter and
Is
our
still there?
videos is like the foundation of what they've built right now.
Ooh.
And they are pretty big. She actually just went
Over-
to the Drew Barrymore TV show. Like she's pretty big, and she's still using some of the assets that we generated for her.
That's amazing.
In her
I think when we started working with her, she had less than 10,000 followers on Instagram. I think she's over 100,000
I don't know,
followers.
yeah, she's pretty massive now.
She's Sammy, we love you. Thank you.
Congrats.
Anyways, also the whole network of Orange Theory that we work with, incredible. Anyway, so lots of lessons there, right? But in this process, we're starting to learn, okay, well, we like to do some things. We like to do others. Maybe we don't like to do this. And then we decided to invest in our first mastermind. Pretty big investment, again, right? Way more than the $1,000 that we invested initially.
It was
But
$20,000.
25.
$25,000. 25.
And at the time, I had a personal loan that I took out so I could finance the whole year in BIZBROS without my wife having to worry about. And that was more than half of that loan went to this mastermind. But it put us in a position where we actually had to execute yes or yes.
You know what they say? You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
We definitely risked it to get the biscuit.
I feel like we gain more than just a biscuit. Though.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So throughout that process, right, we started executing. We niched down into one thing that we're going to do, and we decided to focus on content. Why on content? Is because a lot of the people were asking us for a lot of content. At the time, we were known as the video guys. We'll actually go on location and we'll film, and FONZI will do this amazing editing. And that's one of the things that you said that you don't want to do it anymore. And that's why we pivoted a little bit on the type of content that we started to handle. But we started executing on a new framework, right? You want to talk a little bit about the framework and why we decided to go after one framework?
You go.
So,
I was gonna add here. I think was 45 Live before this or after this? It was before this.
it was before this.
Yeah, 45 Live is before this. I feel like that was an important part of the story. Whatever. If you want to know more about the 45 Live challenge and how it actually helped us build one of the main frameworks that we use.
So the framework was already being built because we were executing for Orange Theory.
But I'm talking about the minimum viable content.
I know. Here's where it comes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we were already executing as a service in a sense. So M2M, right? Macro to micro is when we turn long form content into micro assets, right? That's the main thing. It's probably the easier, better way to do content, right? A lot of people do it. So we're executing it as a service. And then when we're trying to sell this service in front of a few owners, business owners, one of the guys stands up and he's like, okay, that's awesome what you guys have done, but where's your thing? Where's your publishing? And at the time we were freelancing, it was just two of us. It was really challenging to take care of ourselves and do our thing.
That's the story
so we thought.
That's the story we're telling ourselves.
Or so we thought. Yes, that's true. So we have to recognize it, right? And we identify with a lot of people because when you're running a small business or an agency, right? You do all this work for other people because they're paying the bills.
But you don't do the work for yourself.
But you do the work for yourselves. And we felt it. It was hard. And we decided we made a commitment that day that we were going to go live for 45 days straight to be consistent, right? That was the main purpose. Just be consistent.
That's a very oversimplified story. But
there's a 45 Live episode.
Yeah.
Go.
We'll redo it. We'll redo a 45 Live episode. I think like it deserves the attention and the craft of elaborating on that story.
Yes, this is the abbreviated version of the last
this is the appetizer.
The appetizers.
The breadstick.
So we decided to go live, right? And immediately after, there's an episode that happens at 11:30 at night. I get a DM from a person that invites us to a thing called content dinner.
Literally, they slid in your DMs.
They slid into my DMs. And this turns out to be our first six-figure opportunity. We ended up working with this company for about a year. We ended up helping them build the framework and execute on the framework for them to build. And fast forward a few years, that framework has helped them generate, like together with other strategies that they've implemented, more than $40 million in sales. This is a real estate company.
40 million schmackaroos.
So, as we execute this, we're like, wow, we're into something like really interesting, right? Like we're systematizing everything. This is allowing us to repeat the process, not hate the process like we used to with the other things, right? We start really liking the process that we're building, right? And setting the foundation to what's about to come. So we decided to do 45 Live again, second time, after we're in this amazing dinner with amazing entrepreneurs and our really good friend Josh 40, who wasn't a really good friend at the time. Here's the story. He's like,
oh, you say who wasn't a really good friend?
At the time, he is now.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend. Shout out Josh.
Yeah, I think at the moment he didn't even know who we were.
And we're in this table, right? And he's listening to all the stories, and we're telling the 45 Live story and how this story or how that framework allowed us to get our first 6-figure client. And then he's like, well, are you guys doing it again? We're like, this is like 4 months after that. And we're like, we should do it again. Yeah. So I think we're in lesson number 5 or 6. Do more of what works.
Yeah.
Do more of what works. So we go and we do 45 Live again. And a few days after, I think it was like 17 days again, we get another client like that, right? And we're like, wow, okay, consistency in publishing works. And at the time, we didn't have the podcast. We didn't have like all this shebang that we see now. And we start executing. We start building the process. We start actually hiring people. No, we didn't hire people at the time, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. And then COVID happened. COVID happens in Jacksonville. What happened that day, Fonzie?
Things closed down. Even my brother's mind and heart, they closed down.
They did close down.
He panicked because the business that we're working with, they called, of course, brick and mortar. And they told my brother, hey, my friend, we're closing down. We ain't getting no money. So we ain't sending you no money. And my brother was like, well, this is the end, right? 80% of our clients
gone.
Kind of like Thanos. He just snapped and everything was gone. And my brother panicked and he was in crisis mode. And I feel like I was in crisis mode too, but I react very differently. So I sensed the negative energy. I was in my computer and I was like, ooh, I feel the darkness. And I turn and I see my brother just like sulking in there. He wasn't crying, but he was like head down, very clearly preoccupied because of the massive investment we have done and now having no money to
I was freaking out. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I? By the way, at this time, Katie, my wife, did not know that we invested $25,000 of my $40,000 loan to live for a full year into this thing, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, like we need to make something happen. And with that
came the slap.
But with that, we're going to leave the episode here. This is part 1. Right. And I'm very excited because this is the moment that everything changes.
Well, we're leaving the episode here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you hear Luca screaming up there?
I know.
We said 20 minutes.
Dude, I was getting into it. I was just warming up. I thought this was the warm up now.
This is the warm up. No, we're going to leave this here. This is part 1. In 20 minutes, we just talked about the first 6 years. If you want to hear some of those stories, let us know. We'll dive deep because each of those stories have an amazing lesson. But March 2020 is when everything changes and we're able... I'm going to do the hook for next time.
Do it.
Since that day, we were able to launch a show and generate more than $250,000 sales with the show alone and allowed us to do many more things that we're going to discuss and we're going to break down in the next episode. So part 2 coming.
It also allowed us to recover the business that we lost in the first 30 days.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we pretty much became the Avengers.
The Avengers.
And saved everything.
Yeah. So... anyways, you know now a little bit more about us. It's been like 200, almost 300 episodes that we haven't really shared that part of the story. So thank you for allowing us to share. If you have any questions, specific questions about those stories, let us know. Send us a DM. Hey, Luis, I want to listen more about 45 Live. I want to listen more about the t-shirts. I want to listen more about the stickers, the call calling. Fonzie walking in his underwear with his video game headset on to do the call calling.
Yeah.
That's a fun story.
Hey, you gotta get out there. Also, guys, if you're in the B2B world, right, and content is the vehicle that is gonna get you that trust with the people that you're trying to sell, just hit us up, send us a message at BIZBROS on Facebook, on Instagram. We want to help you out. That's exactly what we do with other people. No strings attached. Just introduce yourself. We want to talk to you. We want to help you out. We are on a mission to connect the creators economy with the B2B world.
Ooh, baby.
That's right. No more boring content.
Fonzie, that's the first time that you say it out loud publicly.
And I like it.
Say it again.
We are on a mission to connect the creator economy with the B2B world.
Let's go.
No more boring content.
No more boring content.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. I know.
Hashtag juicy.
I know. Business content can be so boring sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No more boring content.
No more boring content. That's our new hashtag. Is that our new hashtag?
Maybe.
No more boring
Hashtag juicy
content.
juicy.
Hashtag. We got plenty.
We got plenty hashtags.
You're gonna
You'll
learn throughout this journey with us, right? Back to the journey where.
Yes.
And also, I just wanna give a huge shout out to HubSpot and the HubSpot Podcast
That's
Network
right.
and their creators program, HubSpot Creators.
Go check him out. I'm sure there was an ad here and there that you listen from Hustle, but really the program that they're launching, or they launched with us, and then I think there's a goal or two coming, so stay tuned. Go fill out the application if you see it out there.
I think it's hubspot.com/creators. Go check it out. Absolutely amazing what they're doing. They are I think they're a great partner for our mission of joining the creator economy with the B2B world.
I know. Fastest path to cash, baby.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's it for today.
That's
I think
good?
that's pretty good.
With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Contents Profit Podcast. Go ahead and follow the show and come back next week for part 2.
That is right. And if by any chance your story helped you move one step closer towards your goal, please don't forget to share this episode with 3 friends and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.